poet reiterates the same question and wonders if he lost his childhood on the day when he developed a new perception with which he is able to see the adults. He figures out that the adults around him did not practice what they usually preached. They taught others to be loving and caring when they themselves were violent, mean, argumentative, and discourteous. Their behavior was far from the love they sermonized about and advocated so reverently to the child. Thus, the child lost his faith in the adults around him, whom he had so far trusted unquestioningly. Their latent hypocrisy became evident to the growing child. He thinks that probably the loss of faith and trust might have been the major steps towards losing his childhood. This is perhaps the biggest loss that he has suffered. When did my childhood go? Was it when I found my mind was really mine, to use whichever way I chose, producing thoughts that were not those of other people but my own, and my alone? Was that the day? The poet is still pondering over the same question. He starts wondering if it was the day when his personality acquired a certain individuality which set him free from the prejudiced opinions of others around him. When he started understanding that his mind was his own and he was capable of producing thoughts that were devoid of any form of bias or influence. Now he is conscious of his own separate identity and feels himself to be different from others. He is fully aware of his abilities. He has understood that he is the master of his own self. His personal experiences shape his thoughts now, and he rationalizes that this might have been the time when he lost his childhood innocence completely. Where did my childhood go? It went to some forgotten place that's hidden in an infant's face. That's all I know. Finally, the poet changes his question from when to where he has lost his childhood. From wondering at what point in time he had lost his childhood, he now wonders where it went. He expresses his regret at the loss of his childhood, which was a beautiful period of his life, and that it has gone to some forgotten place. Even its recollection has faded away with the passage of time. He claims that his childhood has become nothing more than a long-lost memory for him, but has become the reality for some other infant. Childhood is a lost memory. We can recall the fantasies and the moments associated with it, but the innocence is irrevocably lost. He conveys the idea that innocence of childhood remains only as long as one is an infant. There is a tinge of optimism in this thought. At least innocence and purity of mind prevails in some form or the other on this earth. According to the poet, innocence is a cyclical process. Lost from one person, it travels to another, finding residence there. Thus, adults can easily recall and seem to almost relive their own childhood through an infant.
created using Powtoon.